Hey, Tim Sykes here, and it is the final night of Hanukkah 2016. It's also the final night of 2016. Happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, happy New Year tonight. Have a safe evening tonight. I want you guys going out and having fun, but also consider that you got to study. Study on the weekends. And this video, my eighth Hanukkah gift to you, is going to be 8 tips that have made several of my students several $100,000. First, I got to give props to Mark Crook. He just posted this video lesson for challenge students. I don't know if you guys know this, but Mark Crook, who has now made $637,000, posted this, and he was just reviewing his year. He made a little over 150 grand, and this is a great video lesson. You challenge students, please, please, please watch this. Also, you have a few days left to watch Trader Checklist. I know many of you guys are contacting me freaking out like, I can't watch all 11 hours before tomorrow. It's okay. Don't stress. Don't burn yourself out. Don't cancel plans tonight. I get it, okay? 11 hours is a lot. So this is actually going to go a few days into the new year. And I have a very special announcement coming on Trader's Checklist next week. So stay tuned for that. But just don't burn out, okay? I appreciate your dedication and your devotion, but you don't need to finish it all tonight. It's going to be free for a few more days, so enjoy that. And then also we have this holiday sale. Some of you guys are contacting me. You want to save the 30, 40, 50, 60% off DVDs and newsletters, but again, you're not getting paid until like next Wednesday or Thursday. Don't worry, you can have it a few more days. I'm not like a bad guy. I'm not like, you will get this cut off now. This is what I said, okay? You can always have a few extra days more. It's not the end of the world. Don't worry. I hear you. Thank you for contacting me. But today's video lesson, I got to talk about my students. Dennis, even after yesterday, I highlighted some students. I keep getting more and more students contacting me. I freaking love it. Here's Dennis. He started studying 3 months ago. First month with a profit. And, he's not American. But he says it's roughly $806 profit to begin. And that's awesome. After 3 months of studying, here's Hebrew Hammer. He's been a great student, and he's been studying, and he's been gradually growing his account. I think he started with just 500, and I think now he's up to 10,000, but he just had his first $1,000 profit yesterday. So congrats to him. And then also my student Sergey. Look at this. I love getting screenshots. He's like, thanks for teaching, Tim. I really appreciate your hard work, finishing the year on a positive note, and he made $1,794 yesterday. And some of you guys are also contacting me saying, hey, Tim, can we just hear about the stocks? I don't want to hear about the students. But for me, it's all mixed in. The stocks, the rules, the students. I need you to see it all. Because frankly, I'm very fortunate to talk with literally hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. So I see all these different angles. And that helps me understand the game better. And I hope that you guys see that too. It's not just about finding the hottest stocks. It's about seeing that there are many different angles, many different students trading many different strategies and patterns. This is a very big world. This is much bigger than Westworld. But the student of the day that I want to really talk about and the lessons that he's already given me is Steven. Steven Ducks, awesome student, awesome challenge student. He just passed $600,000 on Profitly, and he rewarded himself with a new car. Let me just show you his trades for a second. Hold on, let me pull them up. Here is his profit chart, and I just want to show you this because he just started literally in February 2016 with $27,000. I called him yesterday. We had a good chat, and now he's past $630,000. He verifies his trades. You can see his winning percentage is very similar to mine. If we look at his trades, sometimes he loses. It's okay. He was shorting NDEV. This was one that I was dip buying, so we actually went head to head, and I was right and he was wrong. It's not the end of the world to be wrong. But look at some of his biggest trades. He really nailed the shipping sector, shorting it. This is why he just passed, 630,000. Shorting GLBS, SINO, shorting NVCN. That was a great trade. Shorting Gene. He really likes shorting, okay? Although he does go long too. You see here he made nearly 10 grand on SHIP. So I encourage you to go look at all of his trades and learn from them. His username is Dux, D-U-X, on Profitly, and that's awesome. And he's very helpful too. Those of you guys in the challenge room, you guys know that he's been talking a lot and helping many of you guys. I love when students want to help other people. And he also, I mean, he's down to earth. Look at him. He was trying to chase a GTR with his Audi. He's answering people. He started with 27,000, 8 months. I don't know what the 10,000-ish is. What? Big fan of your trading achievement. I was just wondering if you could mention how much you spent learning. Yeah. So he spent a lot learning, but he's been studying. So this is the thing. Like, a lot of people say, hey, Tim, I don't want to study. I don't want to learn. And I'm like, well, how are you anti-education? How do you expect to do well if you just try and learn this stuff all on your own? You probably can, but I'm telling you, it's a lot harder. And if you invest literally just, a few $100s or a few $1,000s into your education, you don't have to go all out. But obviously, the more that you spend on your education, and, this is the max that anybody can spend with me. This is like learning in person. This is learning online. This is webinars. This is mentorship. That's the max. And colleges that you see are, 30, 40, 50,000 a year. And forget about medical school and legal stuff. I mean, it's insane how much you can spend on a college education versus Steven, where, he spent a little money on his education, but, now he's made roughly what, 600 times this or 60 times this. I'm not good at math. 60 times already in the first few months. Now he has the knowledge and he's well on his way. And you can see from his profit chart, he's doing pretty damn good. Okay, so it's not like this is going to end anytime soon. So you have to invest in your education up front. I wish that there was another way where you could just learn everything on your own. You didn't need any education. But frankly, every single thing that we offer, whether it's a DVD or in-person teaching or mentorship, it's all for your benefit, okay? That's what some people don't get, okay? I'm not pitching some bullshit scam here. I'm actually teaching you rules that work. And I'm showing you example after example. And in case you don't believe me, here are some of the great rules that Steven has already learned. I asked him just to highlight 8 rules for the 8th night of Hanukkah. I had a conversation with him yesterday over the phone. Great guy. And I said, just give me 8 rules. And I was like, no rush. If it's before the 8th night of Hanukkah, that's cool. If not, we'll do it the first week, whatever. Within 30 minutes, he sent me these 8 rules. And you can see him here in the chat room. I just highlighted a few people in the challenge chat room. He's talking. He's like, all I learned from you is from you. Thank you for being the best teacher. I said, oh, thanks, man. Keep up the good work and remember not to force trades. Just take it one supernova at a time. A lot of people start earning this kind of money and they want to trade, and they want to get to $1 million. That is not the proper mindset. You got to think of yourself as a retired trader. And actually, in tomorrow's video or the next video, I don't know. I'm going to make a video lesson a day, but I have a crazy schedule the next few days. I'm going to talk about why I actually traded on Friday, even though I wasn't planning to. So think about that and see why I did well. And I'm also going to highlight several of the top stocks that I'm watching when the market reopens on Tuesday. Remember, the market is closed on Monday. But he also says this, I'm starting getting stuff. Says my car is not real, I'm not real, and giving BS. And people are like, what'd you expect? A-holes are a dime a dozen, keep it real. And he responds, and he's like, I'm just not, comfortable with people shooting BS. Tim is probably the realest teacher you can possibly find. I appreciate that, Steven, but I'm used to it, okay? When you post pictures of your Ferrari and your Lamborghini and your students who make millions of dollars from just a few thousand, it's tough to believe. Okay, so I get it. And remember, I'm in an industry full of scam artists, okay? There are a lot of teachers out there, quote, teachers, who claim to teach you to be rich, but they don't back it up. So I don't mind the doubters. I don't mind the haters. I don't mind the critics because this is all part of the game. That's why I show you my students and show these trades so that you understand the game. I am teaching you every single angle. And you can make money teaching once you achieve and be real. All you have to do is be real. That's what's so funny. It's kind of sad that these, wannabe teachers, they're just not real. They can't show all their trades publicly. They don't have millionaire students. Even if they do claim to have a millionaire student, they only post like one screenshot. Show me every trade. Just be fucking real. That's the secret to my success. I'm getting interviewed by a lot of these different magazines, they're coming out in the next few weeks and months. And they're like, what is your secret to success? And I'm like, just be real, The whole fucking internet and the whole penny stock world and trading world is so full of scams. I mean, you go to like one of these trader expos and it's just scam after scam after scam. Like, show me your trades. Why is that so difficult? Show me trades over years, over decades. Prove that you're real. And don't just show me hypothetical returns. Don't show me simulated performance. Don't show me percent returns. Show me how much fucking money that you've made. If you're getting into the stock market, you're doing this to make money. Okay? I don't know the last time that I went to a grocery store and paid for my groceries with, here, the bill is $200, but I'll give you a 20% return instead. You pay with money, dollars. And if you're in other countries, there's different currencies. You cannot pay for anything in the real world with percent gains or simulated gains. If you want freedom, you need to make money. I don't know why this concept is so difficult, but I guess if you don't have the expertise and you're a newbie and you're trying to pretend that you're an expert, you have to be a scammer. I guess that's the only explanation, but it's just sad, And in the future, if you want a big business online, just be real. Anyways, let's get to the top 8 lessons from Steven. I'm sorry for the rant, but I have to help you understand all the different angles. That's why I'm not worried about haters or critics or doubters or anybody who says that anything's BS. I can back everything up. That is the beautiful thing. I would not highlight Steven. I didn't even believe Steven at first, but he started posting screenshots. Okay? Look at Steven. Let me just show you something for a second. Not to mention he's responding to everybody, which is awesome. But in the past, he's posted some great screenshots of his profits too. Look at him. He made $25,000 on GLBS. Okay? That was awesome. And he's posting profits here. Here's the $18,000 on SINO. And it adds up over time. Anyways, let's get to the lessons. Get out of a trade when you think it's a gamble, 50% win or loss or not comfortable with. And mind you, Steven, for all his success, he doesn't speak perfect English. So don't give him shit about it. It's fine. That's cool. I wish that I spoke, my second language as well as he does. But he says, get out of a trade when you think it's a gamble. And this is such a good lesson. If you're not sure, you get out. When in doubt, get out. When you're confident, be patient. This is so difficult for so many people where they're like, Tim, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in the trade. What do I do? When in doubt, get out. And if you don't know what you're doing, guess what? It's because you haven't prepared. You haven't studied. You don't know the pattern. Maybe you like the news, but the price action isn't acting right. Maybe the price action is acting right, but you don't really understand the news. That's why you got to study. Studying, not just to make more money, but to help you get more confident in what is a good trade and what is the right pattern for you, because we all have different personalities. This one we went over on the phone, and he said, don't short a stock that's under 2 million float just to be safe. Short squeezes can be crazy. And a lot of people, obviously I'm a short seller primarily. This year was a little different. I had much more success on the long side, but there's a lot of people out there who just like to short everything. And it's a very dangerous game because, we see a lot of these supernovas go further and further than they think possible. And all it takes is one of these trades, one of these supernovas to really surge, and you risk losing so much and you risk blowing up. I don't want you to ever risk blowing up. I don't want you to be stressed. Trading shouldn't be stressful. You see a lot of these gunslingers and they post 1 or 2 screenshots here or there, and you think, oh, shorting supernovas is the way to go. But they don't post their screenshots of their losses, and frankly, you know why? The reason why they're not on Profitly, because they have some massive drawdowns, okay? Lots of losses, lots of potential losses, lots of stress. Trading doesn't have to be stressful. If you focus on the best patterns that fit your personality and they're not very risky where, you could blow up, guess what? Trading can be fun if you cut losses quickly. This is my first year I actually truly got it. And I've been trading for, 18 years. 18 years. And it took me that long to really clamp down on my losses. And now trading is not very stressful. Although we'll see next year when I'm trading with $1 million account. The pressure will be on. So I don't want the pressure totally be off. Frankly, I trade with a small account in order to teach, but it gets a little boring sometimes. So next year I'll be having a $5,000 account and $1 million account. two different ends of the spectrum. And you'll see the strategy isn't very different, but the way that I position size and the way that I enter and exit trades will be different. And the $1 million accounts, there will be no alerts. Subscribers will get the live video lessons, and you'll have to be a subscriber for that. That's going to be really valuable information. That ain't going on YouTube. Best to avoid taking 3 or more positions or more. I'm going to edit you, Steven. He posted this in chat to me, so give him a break. And this was really quick, but I agree. I don't understand how some traders take like 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 positions and they're like hedged. I've never had success with that. I've never been able to do that successfully. I've tried. I'm good with 1 or 2 positions, and I like watching every single tick. I'm like a control freak. So I guess that works for Steven too. He says, never ever go over position size, no matter how confident it is. I normally risk 5 to 10% of my account. So this one might be a little different for you guys because Steven started with 27,000. So if he's only risking 10% of his account, even when he started, that's a $2,700 position. But some of you guys only have 2,700 in your account, and you're like, well, if I follow this, I have 2,700 in my account, and I'm only using 10% of my account. That's a $270 position. It changes, okay? And when I have a $5,000 account, every trade of which will be alerted, and you'll see exactly, why I'm taking it. My first trade, I actually got an early start. I have an overnight position, which I'll talk about in a video lesson this weekend explaining that and several other hot stocks that I'm watching. And I was a little more aggressive, but that's just me because I'm frankly bored and, I'm not a newbie. But you have to judge what makes you comfortable, whether it's 5%, 10%, 20%, 30% of your account. I would never do 75 or 100 or 150% of your account using leverage. I don't care how great you are. I don't care what your account size is. I used to go all in the beginning, and I was dumb as shit. And I was very fortunate that I got started, right during the tech bubble. So it didn't come back to haunt me. But this is a little bit of a different market. And if you go all in, you risk too much. Again, you have that stress. Number 5. Opportunity always comes. Missing some is okay. Only go for the best trades. I could not have said this any better, Steven. Thank you for saying this. You really do not have to be in a trade every second. I know you feel like if you're not in a trade, your money isn't working, but cash is a position. Cash is usually the best position. So if you can wait, and frankly, yesterday was a really good example. I really did not intend on trading. Because I'm rebalancing my accounts. It gets messy. Like at year end, I wanted to start the new year with exactly 5,000 and exactly 1 million. But at the same time, if there's a great trade, I'm not just going to ignore it. And that's the kind of way that you should think all the time. Imagine if you're always, December 30th and always is the final trading day of the year. And the next day, you have to rebalance your accounts. So you don't want messy math. If you use that mentality, like you're a retired trader and you don't have to trade, it forces you to ignore a lot of shit, and it forces you to focus on only the best trades. And usually the best trades with the best patterns work out the best. But it's tough to have patience. I get it. Number 6, when it's a sector hype play, do not short 2 stocks in the same sector. I actually disagree with this with Steven, but he's had more success lately, so we'll see how I do with my $1 million account. When there's a hot sector, I like trading 1 or 2, maybe even 3 stocks. But again, it is difficult to watch all of them. So I understand Steven's point. And he's just scared of blowing up with shorting. And I appreciate that. He has the right gist. He has the right mindset. And many short sellers don't. There are too many gunslinger short sellers right now, and I think it's just going to end badly for them on one of these supernovas. Number 7, he says, never chase a stock. Sometimes you can get away with it. It's not worth it in the long run. Thank you, Steven. So many people are so afraid of missing a trade. FOMO, fear of missing out, that they start chasing. And maybe in this market, it's okay because, this is a crazy bull market. But trust me, if you learn the wrong things now, if and when the market inevitably changes, you will learn very bad habits, and they will come back to bite you in a very bad way. And even in this market, you still might lose. So please don't chase stocks. Lately, I've been really dip buying stocks, and I've been doing better on my dip buys than really ever chasing the spikes. And if you dip buy, guess what? If you're wrong, you simply cut losses quickly. It's not as scary. It's not as fast because the stock is already depressed. If I'm buying a stock and I think it's going to break out, or I think it's going to morning spike and it doesn't, I usually will lose, and not necessarily lose a little, because if you're chasing and you're buying on a quick morning spike, it can come down very quickly. So forget about never chase a stock. For me, I really greatly prefer dip buying. And I've done several videos lately explaining that. Number 8, success adds up day by day in everyday studying. The strategy gets old, but your brain doesn't get old, so always ask why. The more you learn, the better you are. And I had to read this one a few times. The strategy gets old, but your brain doesn't get old, so always ask why. This sounds like something like Yoda would say, right? This is cool. And it's good. I could have edited this. I didn't edit any of this. I don't want to edit Steven's words. And I think what he's trying to say is that, the strategy, you can get comfortable with it, but your brain can never be, totally comfortable and totally confident. And you have to wonder why, because your brain is always, moving forward. The strategy pretty much stays the same. With a few minor adaptations, like, okay, this is a new hot sector. The market environment is a little more bullish lately. Okay, these supernovas can go a little further, so you can get a little more aggressive on the long side, a little more conservative on the short side, but it's still basically the same pattern of the supernovas that I've been tracking for the past 2 decades. But your brain is constantly taking in new data, new inputs, and you need to constantly adapt. And I know several of you guys, like, you're 6 months in or you're 9 months in and you're like, I really almost get it. I'm almost there. You're not, okay? You might be almost there to a point where you can consistently profit, and that's cool. It took Tim Grittani 9 months to consistently profit, and now he's taken 1,500 into 3.4 million in his 4th or 5th year. But at the same time, even when you are consistently profiting, sometimes you still have to go backwards. Sometimes you have to still learn a tough lesson and take a loss every now and then and keep adapting, keep learning, keep getting better. Even if you are consistently profiting, guess what? You can profit even more. You can do better. That is the beauty of our brains. That's the beauty of education. So even at 18 years in, I'm still learning. This was literally my first year without a giant loss. That's pathetic. It took me 17 years. I can guarantee you guys that with this education and with enough video lessons and studying these plays in real time, ideally, it's impossible for you to be as dumb as I am, for it to take you 17 years to be without a big loss. And Tim Grittani, I think this is his first year without a big loss too, if I'm remembering correctly. He still has some losses, but nothing like huge, nothing that's going to make him so stressful, nothing that's going to risk him blowing up like too many traders do. So he learned in 4 years. I learned in 17, 18 years. How long will it take you to learn? I don't know the answer, but I can guarantee you the more that you study, the shorter, your education learning curve will be. And that's what this is all about. There's no such thing as perfection in trading, okay? And this is me just being real. There's no magic bullet, no secret formula to getting rich. But if you combine lesson after lesson, pattern after pattern, rule after rule, along with your experience, along with your studying in the past, if you don't have a lot of experience, you study trades from the past. So while I have 4,000 video lessons, they're only 5 minutes long each. Think of it as your history lessons. You're studying the past. You're studying the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Egyptian Empire, and you're seeing what, correlates and what changes over time. So anyway, Stephen, thank you for this great recap of your 8 key lessons. I'll get into this in more detail in a little bit, but I just wanted to share this as your 8th night of Hanukkah approaches. And Stephen, excited for you to see what you can do in the future. Stay tuned for a few days from now. I'm sending you a little gift, and I hope you like it. Just a little gift, nothing huge, but it's good to celebrate milestones, and it's good for you guys to see what's possible. As I create more and more 6-figure students and 7-figure students, you see it's not just luck. It's not just 1 or 2 guys. Now I have dozens of students in the 6-figure mark, and it's only a matter of time until they get to 7 figures if they keep studying and they keep adapting. Anyways, happy Hanukkah, happy New Year to everybody. Please take advantage of this holiday sale, and please watch my free trader checklist guide. You have a few more days. Don't burn out. Have a good night tonight. Be safe. Thank you.